This podcast is brought to you by Molly Jewelry and by Future is Now Coalition Digital Democracy.
Excuse me. Yeah.
Like, usually you guys are problematic, and but that would be too problematic.
But we're talking about Jesus Christ Superstar. It's already problematic
The whole
as it
thing
is.
is problematic.
Exactly. This
Like I totally forgot Judas was played by a black man, and I'm like, oh, that's brave.
Technically, though, I have thoughts about that. There's an element to this where I'm like, I can't believe this, and I told Jordan this, and it blew his mind. So, but I'm gonna save it.
Forgive me, Father, what I'm about to do. Although, to be fair, I think you have a problem with this musical just as much as I do.
Forgive me, forgive me, Father. I'm about to say some things that might get me canceled.
I'm about to hardcore sin.
And then I'm gonna say them again tomorrow, but meaner because people because it's my own show.
Hey, all I'm saying is that I can prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that God has a sense of humor.
I mean, look no further than the platypus.
That's what I was going to say, but also...
I mean, yeah. Sorry, Haley. We're doing the thing.
I'm just sitting here contemplating why I decided to do this.
Your fault. You know what we're about.
I already warned you what this was going to be.
Yeah.
You agreed to it anyway.
I know. You warned me, and I
For like
was
a year.
balls
For like a
blazing,
year.
just-
This is true. This has been like a year in the making.
I was like, I'm coming with my spiciest takes, Haley. This is the episode that's gonna get me canceled.
I know. Me and Justin actually talked about it like a couple weeks ago, and it was when I was on his show talking about cats, and afterwards we were talking about it, and I still went full force. I was like, nope, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Guns blazing.
Head first, she jumped into it. Yeah,
Guns
and then
blazing.
as this week went on, I was like, I may have to temper some of those opinions.
No, I when you said you were going to do it, I was like, really? Okay. Into the lion's den we go.
Right. Okay.
It's either I'm gonna get in a lot of trouble with Christians, or I'm gonna be in a lot of trouble with atheists. Maybe.
I'm so curious as to what Jake thinks about this movie, about this musical generally.
It's a steaming pile of the shits.
That's so fascinating. It's interesting to hear why you feel that way.
It's a hardcore steaming pile. Okay, so let me be clear. I've never seen a stage production.
I like stage production.
I've only seen the 1973 movie?
1970 movie, I believe.
Yeah, which is just... That's a steaming pile of the shits, as I like to call it. It's a hippie-filled fever dream in which Roman centurions wear purple tank tops. They're selling grenades, rocket launchers, and automatic weapons in the temple square. And just where do we even? Far too many bearded white men.
To be entirely fair, I can defend that.
I know you can, and I can too, but the thing of it is, it's still weak-ass sauce. I'm sorry. There's fucking fighter jets behind Judas running through the desert.
I mean, he runs into tanks at one point. But to be fair, the anachronisms are kind of part of Jesus Christ Superstar. Like that's kind of the deal.
It's still fucking dumb.
To be fair, the movie is not my favorite version of this. I in fact agree with you. I think it might be the worst version of it.
I think I might like it more than the Cynthia Erivo version.
Okay, I'm defending that. I'm going to defend that, but
It was not
but-
very good.
Oh,
But first-
okay. Well, speaking of hills to die on, let's hear
Okay.
this one.
I'm
Okay, here we go.
I'm gonna defend this, but first of all, but first let me do this real quick. Hi everybody, welcome to the party.
10 minutes in.
Hello, a cold open.
Live from New York.
Live from New York. It's Saturday night. Technically, Saturday evening, but
This is true. It is Saturday night.
It is Saturday night. Yeah.
so welcome to the Party World Podcast. Sorry for like the 10 and a half minute like opener.
They know what's up. Jesus had disciples. You have problems.
It's true. It's true. We walked
I'm
behind you in the
gonna
desert.
title that.
You only need 2.
I'm gonna title that exactly.
But see, now the audience has to. Which one of us is going to make the logical choice to betray you for the betterment of the rest of us, of the rest of the network?
Yeah. So yeah, it's
Well, nobody said we had to go down that path.
That is true. That is true. Wait, one of us could not betray you. That is true. Yeah, that's fair. Well, but one of us has to betray you if we. Not important. It's not. really-
That's assuming that Haley's Jesus,
fair enough.
and that's clearly Cynthia.
Oh, that's
that's
a fair
clearly
point.
Alanis Morissette.
No, she's God. There's
She's
God.
God. She's God.
She's God.
She's
Alanis
God.
Morissette is God. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
she's God.
Or rather, God looks just like Alanis Morissette.
Sorry.
If we're being technical.
If we're being because God is Canadian and a woman.
I'm convinced that Alanis Morissette is God because she is just that amazing.
See, the internet's not going to get to hear any of the best jokes Jordan made this week about the Bible movies we watched because they're all offensive. And
Oh no! Here's the thing, and I don't know when I'll be able to pop in. I do want to pop in and talk about some of your Jesus movies because I have thoughts, but and I'm in an oddly interesting position to be talking about Jesus movies, but.
that's why I'm so curious to hear your thoughts on this one because I have a particular opinion on this movie that I've never said on the internet before.
I have
So I'm
also picks because I didn't watch the full movie. I've seen like just clips. There's
Okay.
one specific clip that I kind of hate with a passion, and
Which
it's
one's that?
See what you did there, but
I said,
with the passion of the Christ. No, I'm kidding. It's the one where they're singing about how they have to kill Jesus.
which one? Because I think they do
which
that
one?
twice.
There's a couple of songs about
Jesus
killing
must
Jesus.
die. That song.
Oh, when
And
Pontius
they're up on
Pilate's
the-
doing the yeah. Okay.
And they have these weird hats on, and
Oh,
like,
so that's the Pharisees, and one of
Yeah.
them I have affectionately referred to as Conehead because
yeah.
See, he
And I'm
made me
like-
think.
You know
oh,
who I'm
he's
talking about.
giving me a particular vibe, and I'm totally because I'm on a
because he's
podcast,
also,
like,
he's
you know,
also like almost a countertenor voice, so he's just like he must.
I also don't like this version of King Herod. If we're talking about the movie,
Oh,
It's
see,
the
now
least-
he's one of the. I mean, because it's just so fucking stupid.
It's all dumb. It's all, but yeah, the framing device of them like going out into the desert and it's like they're making an indie film. That's part of it. That's part of what makes it Jesus. So like I watched the version of it where it takes place in like the modern world and there it's like a fascist regime. Rome is like a fascist regime kind of thing,
Well,
and that's the framing device. It's honestly
Rome.
a better version of it than the movie.
I mean, Rome was a fascist regime. So
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's presented more modernly. So he's
That's-
instead of being
it's actually where we get the word fascist from.
right, yeah. But yeah, in that version, in this version, they're more like beatnik hippies, and in that version, they're more like modern leftists, almost like that kind of sort of
Yeah, but
revolutionary
see,
idea.
neither. But the thing is, neither works because that's not what Jesus was about. Now, that's what they thought he was about.
Yeah.
Hence, why they wanted to kill him in the first place. But
See that's fast. See, as a person who doesn't believe or subscribe to the mysticism of it, if you will, Judas's perspective in this is this musical is so fascinating to me. Okay, I have to say, the number one most fascinating part of this musical is that they do it in churches.
That's an interesting choice. That's an interesting choice.
Cannot believe they do
They
this musical
did-
in churches.
They did Hamilton one time in a church too, but like less offensive.
But this
You
but
mean
this
without the
movie-
people? You mean without the people of color?
right?
Yeah.
But okay, so as the person who is more religiously inclined or more religiously educated, Jake, my question for you is: Would you describe this musical as being anti-Jesus?
No, I would consider it to be a pretty interesting misunderstanding.
Interesting. That's so fascinating.
Well, but the thing you have to understand about Jesus Christ Superstar is it's not a Jesus play.
No, it's
Yeah.
not.
I mean, it is, but it's a commentary on modern celebrity using Jesus as the example.
Yes, exactly.
And it
Yeah.
also seeks to heavily humanize Judas, which is not, I would say, is not an unfair thing to do, but the way this musical does it is strange because
Yes,
Judas spends the entire musical rightly rational, at least from his perspective. Like, he's not doing this randomly, and then he still kills himself anyway.
Well, I think that's
And then comes back and has like a really nice gospel Motown number.
Oh, that's
Well,
so
I can
fascinating
defend
to me.
that though. I can defend that though.
I mean, you can defend it. It's
Yeah.
just and I don't mean this poorly, because there are actually, I'm not going to call them biblical stories, but there are plenty of biblical stories that have a misinterpretation of the Bible, but are still worthwhile pieces of storytelling.
Yeah.
Not Noah. We're not talking about Noah. Noah's just
No.
a steaming piece of shit.
So
I hated Noah.
if you come on the show, Jake, it's a pin in it for that conversation. But we're going to talk about the Last Temptation of Christ on Sunday.
See, I haven't seen that.
You haven't seen the Last Temptation? Okay, then you've got to come hear about the Last Temptation of Christ, because this comparatively reminds me of the Last Temptation of Christ, in the sense that, from my perspective, as a person who believes that I differ from a lot of atheists in that I believe that Jesus was a real person. Flat out.
I don't think you can dispute that. I think there's
I don't think you
archaeological
can
evidence.
No, I don't think you can either.
But there's a moment where
I mean, a fake guy doesn't influence 2,000 years of religious and political.
There's just so much when you come from it at the angle that Judas is coming from in this, where he's like, Jesus comes across as a oh man, I do the nice version of this. He comes across as a guy who believes his own sauce, who has believed his own shit, who has eaten.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I mean, right or wrong, I mean, he would have to believe that to be who he was.
Right. But what's interesting is a lot. This musical really does paint him as being kind of a dick. And I find it interesting because, depending on what your perspective is, different. Because a lot of the lines from this are taken directly from the gospel, and it's interesting how interpretable it is. Where I watch it and I see Judas going, "Sorry, Haley. Hey, Jesus, maybe let's spend less of our money on hookers, and maybe spend a little more of it on the poor." And Jesus is like, people are always going to be poor, but me, I'm awesome, and I'm not always going to be here to be awesome, so we should spend the money on me. And I imagine, as you're about to do, as a person who is more religiously educated, you will disagree with that assessment.
No, not in the context of this music. Although the only thing I'm going to say is he's not spending it on hookers. He's spending it on luxury, because they're talking about buying oils and perfumes.
Yeah, I know, but he's like, Judas is like, he's basically implying that Mary is a prostitute, and you're spending the money on the that. So I'm
yeah.
I'm overgeneralizing, but so that's interesting. You don't disagree with that assessment.
No, that's it.
Of this movie.
That's absolutely what the musical is saying. Like I said, this is very much trying to humanize Judas, and I don't disagree with humanizing Judas. I just don't agree with the way they're doing it.
Interesting. Sorry, go ahead, Haley.
No, I was going to say, I disagree with that because
Really?
I disagree because I always found that Judas has been trying to get through to Jesus of like, hey, you're going to get hurt if you keep this up, if you keep saying that you're the son of the Messiah. Like, stop, you're gonna get hurt. And then ultimately he does get hurt. He gets.
But it wasn't just saying that he was, and to be fair, a lot of there's different context for me, because I watched like the Passion and all these. It wasn't just that he was saying he was the Messiah. He was also claiming, well, they said he was claiming to be King of the Jews. So like he was making a big, so far as from different fictional perspectives anyway. Maybe not. he was making a lot of noise, and they were concerned that he was going to cause an uprising of this oppressed people. And
Correct.
Judas and Peter and them are saying he's not being radical enough, and he's coming out and being like, I'm the son of God, and that's causing a bunch of am I mischaracterizing this at all?
No.
In what context? Religiously or this movie?
Just generally, like I'm like for Jesus generally, like that was like, because I saw a clip where someone was like, oh, they crucified him on the cross for our sins, and I'm like, no, it's really more, as near as I could tell, of a political thing than it was a.
Oh, okay. So here's where the religious perspective comes in, and the source of a lot in the Gospels and in several stories, the source of some of Jesus' frustration, because the disciples are all concerned about earthly things, and he's sitting here saying, no, this shit don't matter.
Yeah,
I'm talking about this stuff. And it's interesting because it's not inherently incorrect. Judas is concerned about these things, but what he fails to understand, and as do pretty much all the other disciples, is that Jesus dying is a necessary component for the salvation of humanity in a spiritual sense. It's not to save the nation of Judea from the Roman occupation. Now, a lot of people thought that, including the people who King Herod was more preoccupied with him losing his kingship, but the Romans were concerned about it because this is a rabble rouser. But it becomes clear that no, this is political maneuvering by the Pharisees, who want this man dead, but simply because he's taken away some of their thunder, right? At least in most versions of the telling. But
that's what I read.
Jesus' constant frustration with people is that they're all concerned about the here and now, and he's like, no. Like, yeah, it sucks. Which I think this is what the movie might have been trying to sort of point to. They just phrased it horribly wrong. Is Jesus' central preoccupation would not have been feeding the poor, although it's important. But to him, it's more about, okay, well, the eternal's far more important, and that's what I'm really here. I'm trying to teach all you stupid fuckers what's really important, and none of you are listening.
Yeah.
See, that's interesting because from my perspective, certainly just within the context of this movie, it just reads like Jesus is a narcissist. Like that's how it reads.
Yeah,
to me.
That's how it reads in the movie, and I think that's why I'm kind of surprised more Christians aren't offended by that.
Well, they are. It was a deeply controversial musical, but they also, again, do it in churches. Me and Jordan were talking about this, and I was like, we're going to talk about it again tomorrow. How do they cut out all this stuff where it paints Jesus like he sucks?
That's what it's also like in the Hollywood Bowl production, is that paints Jesus as like kind of a narcissist.
Haley,
even though he wasn't, though, because even at least in the gospel accounts, I don't know who the man was.
Yeah.
I wasn't there, but in the gospel accounts, he very much does intentional things to not seem like a big deal. When he rides into Jerusalem, now he does this for two reasons, but he rides into Jerusalem on a donkey and not a war horse. That's mostly to fulfill an Old Testament prophecy, but also to show the fact that it's like, hey, I'm not some conqueror. I'm coming for Passover, and like, yeah. There's an anticipation of my arrival because word has spread, but he's intentionally coming in cold.
What I kind of discovered over the course of watching this, and again, the thing I kept watching The Passion was the thing I kept having to be like is people tend to, and me and Jordan were falling into this of placing our modern ideas of how things work on to people from a time where, so like, and this is where I feel like I've ascended past like what a traditional atheist is. I had this thought after I watched you guys on Average Intelligence the other day, where I was like, because I don't believe in nothing, but like
maybe you're Jewish.
Maybe I'm Jewish, but like to me, just from like a modern logical standpoint, what seems more likely? A guy went out into the desert, got really dehydrated, and like hallucinated a bunch and saw some stuff, and then came back super dehydrated and said all that stuff to people. Or this is the condescending version of this, but or saw a magic sky man. Like, that's what the dickhole atheist would
Are
say.
you,
But like,
are you? Well, hang on. Who are you talking about? Are you talking about Moses, Muhammad, Abraham? Who are you talking about?
that's what I'm saying though. That's my point. It's like any one of these guys, there's always a scene. Like I watched Exodus, Gods and Kings, and there's a scene where they go into the desert, they drink no water, and then they see stuff, and then they see stuff in the desert, and I'm like, what's more likely here? That they don't have an understanding of how basic mental illness works, or that
they
he
wouldn't.
Voices.
They wouldn't have. However, I would find it extremely unlikely for anyone to be stupid enough to go into the desert without water.
That makes sense. Like this, because there's a point in one of these where
I could be wrong there.
Like I don't know enough about Islam. To be fair, I learned I don't know a ton about Christianity either. But like, there's a point.
Well, and I'll be the first to admit that Christianity is tricky in the sense that what a lot of people know about it is actually incorrect.
There's a lot of everything that comes with like, hey man, you're translating a translation of photocopying a photocopy of a photocopy, and sometimes you lose details.
Well, it's worth pointing out that mostly comes from the Old Testament. The New Testament is pretty. The original sources are fairly well known.
Yep, fair enough.
Just not to be that guy, but and actually we do have the original sources now after the discovery of the Dead Sea Scrolls of a lot of the Old Testament, not all, because there's a very big time disparity between the early books and the later books. But we learned some stuff.
I must do one biblical joke, which is that hey man, this isn't total Judas fan fiction. The Gospel of Judas exists for that.
Just me.
Technically, the Gospel of Judas came first. It just wasn't discovered until after this movie was made. So the irony's not lost on me. And while we're on the topic of religious shows, why do the ladies love Jesus?
Why do the ladies love Jesus?
Because he's hung like this.
Hey man, Jesus loved the girls. He loved the ladies.
He loved everybody.
He was a fan of the ladies. Yeah, but I learned that apparently a lot of early Christian like ministers were women. I learned that from a history of Christianity video I watched, where it was
unofficially, but yes, there were quite a few.
It turns out that guy had a few good ideas. Some people misuse those ideas, but like he had some good ideas. I don't inherently disagree with the message.
You will not believe how this ring changes color right on your hand. Seriously, by day it's a dreamy green, and by night, suddenly deep red. Alexandrite is rarer than diamonds, but with Molly Jewelry's lapstones, I actually got this magical look without dropping a fortune. The stone totally stands out, and you can pick your fave shape and metal. It's a lucky little transformation piece, so special for gifts or just yourself. Which cut would you choose? Drop a comment and let's obsess together.
I need wine so bad.
You got some water?
That. Oh my god.
Now, sorry.
Oh my god.
I keep getting distracted away from Haley. I have to say something that will upset you. I'm sorry. I immediately apologize, which is that I don't think Cynthia Erivo is a very good Jesus.
Fuck you.
I don't. Ironically,
where's the righteous beard, man?
Okay.
It's not because she's a woman. I have to say that it has nothing to do with the fact that she's a woman. I just don't think, and this is ironic. I don't think her falsetto's high enough. She doesn't hit the note. 90% of playing Jesus in Jesus Christ Superstar is being. She can't hit the note. She doesn't hit the note.
I mean, no.
He's lower than Ted Neely is in that movie.
John Lennon or John Legend was Jesus in the
but his falsetto is incredible.
Yeah.
Well, no, he also doesn't hit the. Did you? Really? I sent you the clip of them.
Yeah.
He doesn't hit the note in that. He's in that and he doesn't hit it.
That's true.
He doesn't. Yeah,
but it's still really good because he has an.
It is, voice. But in my opinion,
but Lin-Manuel Miranda isn't even.
I said that to Haley.
Please don't. I don't want him. I don't want him in this. I don't want
the comment. The comments is that's the meanest thing anyone has ever done to Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Would you prefer a hurricane?
Why can't I die? It's so funny.
I will say this though.
No. Sorry, Haley.
I was gonna say I will say this though. Philippa Sue. I love Sarah Bareilles as Mary in the John Legend Jesus Christ Superstar. But
I bet that was good.
But Philippa Sue,
she's okay.
She's Mary
Magdalene.
Eliza in Hamilton.
Yes.
Oh my god, the best. She's my number one. I love her so much as Mary.
Mel C's pretty good.
I need her on stage as Mary. In a revival of Jesus Christ Superstar.
Yeah,
but that requires a revival of Jesus Christ Superstar, which,
See, I would like them to do. What I would like is I'd like them to do a movie and do it straight, but still do the music instead of doing the framing device of it's them putting on a show or whatever, like they always do with this.
I would have preferred that, honestly.
Well, apparently, originally when they made it, the movie, they were going for like a Ben-Hur thing. Like that was the vibe they were going for, like a historical epic kind of thing. I don't know how it devolved to being 70s beatnik, but
I don't know how Roman soldiers wearing purple tank tops and silver potware on their heads translates to Ben-Hur, but
I think it would have. I think more in the sense that they conceived of it as being like a religious epic, which is just not.
They failed. I will give credit where credit's due. I didn't know this. They shot that in Israel.
Really?
Yeah. Because I made a joke. I was like in my head, I'm like, no, that looks suspiciously like Southern California. And then I'm like, well, where did they shoot it? And it was like Israel. I was like, oh,
interesting.
I'm a dick.
I mean, if you want it to look like they went out into the desert and shot a movie in a week, that's what it looks like.
That is what it looks like. I was like, it's just the Vasquez Rocks. Turns out,
I kind of wonder what the budget was for that.
I mean, fairly high.
Reasonable, yeah.
For what it was, yeah.
You got to remember it's the 1970s, so budgets just worked differently back then. But yeah.
I do love the fact that they present it as like just a group of hippies being like, let's go out and shoot an indie film about Jesus, man. Yeah. When this has corporate money written all over it.
Then at the end, the guy who plays Jesus disappears because Jesus is now gone. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, I was gonna say, I remember when the announcement of the Hollywood Bowl was announced, I was texting with Justin about how like I wasn't sure about Josh Gad of like playing King Herod.
Oh,
I was fucking surprised.
I watched the movie today and I couldn't remember his name, but I know who he is. And I'm like, Josh Gad should play this guy. This is Josh Gad written all over.
Yeah, well, when she said that, I was like, King Herod is a very flamboyant character. So it absolutely is in Josh Gad's wheelhouse.
Like, the guy even sounds like Josh Gad when he's singing, "Turn my water into wine." I'm like, that just sounds like Josh Gad.
Yeah.
He was
absolutely
hilarious.
If
I find a clip, I'll send it to you, Jake, but like, he's hilarious.
You don't have to sell me on it. I'm sold already.
To be fair, I know I said I did not care for. I don't think she gets high enough. Like it's not the fact that she's a woman. Like a lot of people are upset by
it. It is kind of hard to be the son of God.
Yeah, but it's just the way Jesus Christ Superstar is. You could.
This is true.
It's just it's subversive for the sake of being subversive. It's not even the fact that she's a woman person of color, because like Judas is played Judas is played by a person of color traditionally. That's usually. I
would have loved to see Michael Jackson. I would have loved to see Michael Jackson as Judas.
That would have been
Jesus.
Honestly, Adam Lambert though as Judas.
Adam Lambert should have played Jesus. What are you talking about?
Yeah, he should have played Jesus.
I know, but I mean, yeah, I agree with you. But also, him as Judas was fucking fantastic.
I was gonna say, vocally speaking, I think Judas is a harder role in that show.
Well, he was fucking amazing.
Maybe not harder, but more present.
Jesus is all falsetto. He's all falsetto. Judas is like my favorite version of Judas is Tim Minchin. He's my favorite version of Judas. He's really good. He plays Judas more like a metal, like he's more metal sounding, and it's really good. Maybe more punk rock. And I like his perspective on Judas as a character.
Maybe like Kill Switch Engaged.
Where he's like Judas is this tragic figure where either Jesus is right, he's the son of God, there's no free will, and it's his destiny to do shittiest thing.
No. Jesus being the son of God has nothing to do with free will.
Well, no, it's not. It's his destiny to betray Jesus so that Jesus can sacrifice himself to...
I have an answer for that, actually.
Or Jesus is wrong, and his friend has gone completely off the rails and is deeply mentally ill, and he has to. Either way, he's in this. He damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Well, that also gives me a question of like, how did he know that? How did he know that
How,
much
how did
about
how did who know what?
Jesus knew about Judas betraying him?
Because he
Okay.
talks to God.
No, I actually, believe it or not, I thought through this today because I was like, how do I explain this in a way that preserves free will? Because that's kind of what in the Christian sense, I'm much more interested in the ethics of it all. I don't really care about the epistemology of it. Like, I don't care if this verse technically said this, and it's like, I couldn't give a shit less. But I do find Judas, and you can take this from a literary perspective too. Like, if you're strictly looking at the Bible as a story, Judas is the fulfillment of human error that ironically sets the path in motion for the salvation of all humanity. And the thing is, Jesus up front maybe didn't know who specifically was going to betray or deny him, but you got to remember, he spends all day every day with these dudes, so eventually he's going to be able to call it. And my opinion is that's what he does. And it's only in it's only in one of the Gospels that he actually calls them out by name and says, you're going to betray me and you're going to deny me. But here's the irony. See, like, this is why it's interesting, because whether you believe in it or not, the irony exists. And from a literary perspective, it's actually a little bit more interesting. Peter denies Christ 3 times and yet becomes the rock of the church.
He's like, I don't know that guy. Well, that's what I said. That's what I said. I was interested. I'm like, another thing with the Gospels is they're not all technically. There are different people telling different perspectives from different perspectives.
Yeah.
So you're not seeing Judas's perspective until the Gospel of Judas, where he's
and that came
best friend.
And that gospel comes significantly later and is considered a Gnostic gospel, which is why it's not included. It's not a slight of Judas for that to not be in the canonical Bible. It's the fact that it was heretical.
But also, like, with Peter betraying Jesus, I feel like too. I don't think he did I don't think he did because Jesus knew that he was going to do it.
No.
I think he did it because he wanted to save his own ass from the Roman guard.
Exactly.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. That's how it, in every version of it I've seen thus far, that's how it reads. It's like, hey, that guy's getting the crap kicked out of him. I don't want to be I don't want to be seen with that guy. I don't want the crap kicked out of me. I need to get out of here. That's what it looks like in every version.
Now, and granted, and I don't even know if I'd go so far. I mean, how do I word this? I don't know that I deserve to be called a Christian. I'll put it that way. I have far too many questions. That's a decision for other people. However, my perspective on that has always been, and this is what I love, and this is why the Christian message resonates with me as I see it, is, wow, isn't that something that even a guy who could deny, who from his belief, he believes this man is literally the Son of God, or at least he claims to, that he can deny him 3 times and then go on to found the church that would spread this teaching across the entire world. Isn't that a motherfucker? And the guy who ultimately betrays his good friend and teacher, who we also theoretically believes is the Son of God, is the one that sets in motion the salvation of the entire world, if you believe in this religious perspective, all due to the fact of human error and the fact that they're just human and not perfect and just fuck up left, right, and center. Because from my perspective has always been, the Bible is a book of just a group of people's collective fuck ups over millennia.
Interesting.
Also, a quick side tangent though, Milo Manheim, who played Peter, I loved him so much. Also, another side that I'm so excited for the Tangled live action, because he's gonna be Flynn.
He looks good. I'm excited to see him.
I called it that Catherine Hahn was gonna play Mother Gothel, and guess who's playing Mother Gothel?
That was fun.
Agatha.
That was that was fun because we broke that story on our show a couple of weeks before. It was just a rumor, and me and Jordan were like, yeah, do it. And then a couple weeks later, it got announced officially, and we're like, oh wow, it felt cool to break a story. I was like, oh, that's cool.
No, to be fair, I am a fan of hers because her comedic timing is.
Oh, I'm so stoked.
I make one post about like how I see the vision, and you never let it go.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
it was a
yeah.
good joke, Haley. I'm
was.
sorry.
It
was it was a solid joke. It was a solid zinger.
I love the fact that it took people a minute to.
I know
I
it took
know.
me longer than I
It
care
took
to
me
admit.
an embarrassing amount of time before I got
That's
it.
what a good joke is. I love the jokes where like 2 days later, you're like, son of a bitch.
Right, right. Hi, I see what you did there. Um, that's,
It took me like 20 minutes.
your perspective on the Bible is interesting, Jake, because I had sort of an epiphany where I went, because I kept going like, well, I'm not really atheist. I'm also not agnostic because I think agnostic requires you to doubt the Christian God from my understanding, and I don't doubt from what I have logicked out, I just don't think that the God as described by the Bible exists because I think there's too many hands in soups.
Oh, sure. And what really helps you is when you listen to Jewish people,
Yeah.
because they'll be the first to tell you it's like, yeah, no, we don't believe all this shit literally.
No, they don't. They don't believe in. Correct me if I'm wrong.
like
They don't believe in like concepts like hell.
Certain sects do, but I guess here's my point: is like this is what, and I actually shouldn't say this. I should consult my friend Rabbi David Grossbaum, but I'm going to paraphrase. It's my understanding that, like, okay, when they excavated certain construction sites for the pyramids, and it became very clear that there was zero evidence of slave labor being used.
I've seen that. Yeah.
Then the Jewish perspective is like, okay, yeah, and like the story's not about literal. It's a story of a group of people that was saved, and it was the covenant.
Yeah.
Like it's an allegorical story to remind us of why we have this covenant. In all likelihood, Judaism started as a fringe religion in Canaan and just grew into what would become a city state. And then now what is truly impressive is the fact that Judaism survived countless wars, a couple different exiles.
Yeah. True.
Several occupations, and they literally fought to keep that.
Yeah. Well, when I said to Jordan, I said, what's more, we're gonna play this game on Sunday too, but it's like, what's more likely, that boulder-sized balls of hail fell from the sky over Egypt, or perhaps there was an out-of-season hailstorm, and the word for hail is different in ancient Egyptian.
Which actually, and that's another interesting
allegorical.
Well, not only that, so what a lot of people don't understand is that, is particularly the early books, the Hebrew used to write the Old Testament books of the Bible. I forget what it's called, but it's a style of poetry.
Yes. Well, I know what you're getting at, where it's like people don't really understand that, like, the way we tell stories now is about
way different,
conveying detail and information and making sure that it's accurate. Telling stories back then was really more about conveying a feeling or an idea. So they didn't see an issue with inventing people or exaggerating shit or being allegorical. They didn't see it that way. It was more about conveying the message of don't steal the bread. Like, that's more what it was about. To be. So when he's like, my body is bread, he's not being literal, because that's not the way they wrote. Well,
that depends on who you ask, but
yes, but for the most part, yeah.
You could make, and there are groups of Christianity that take that as a symbolic gesture.
Yeah.
Not literal. Now, and then there's a middle ground where it's like, it's bread until you eat it, then it becomes his body. And I'll be honest, the jury's out on that one for me. I don't, but again, that's one of those examples of like, I don't really care.
Right. I think it's like the Old Testament is where a lot of people, except for there's groups, but for the most part, people are like allegorical when it comes to the Old Testament.
there are people that say, but even though there's like it contradicts itself. And there's some really questionable shit in there. Like I always like to point out, being that guy, it's like, okay, Bible's literally right. Okay, so you're cool with incest, right? And they're like, no, absolutely not. I'm like, okay, you might want to read it again.
Yeah. Jordan pointed that out. He went, wait a minute. He did the wait a minute. Adam and Eve had kids, and I went, yeah.
Oh, no, that's
and
not
then
even
they
what I'm.
had kids, and I went, yeah,
that's
yep.
that's not even what I'm talking about. I'm talking about literal, because that's just never said. I'm talking about literal instances of incest that are spelled out literally.
I mean, the joke I've been. Oh, I'm so sorry, Haley. The joke I've been teetering on doing on our show. Now I am going to do it because I've subjected you guys to it. But
I like how he keeps
I watched a movie. I watched a movie about. It's in the Bible, Haley. It's in the Bible. I watched a movie about David and Goliath, and as I was watching the movie, I was reading about King David, and I was like, I wonder how they're gonna take care of the scene where Saul offers his eldest daughter as a bride to David. And David's like, I can't take her as a bride because I'm poor. And instead, Saul offers him a deal of 100 Philistine foreskins. And David, ever the overenthusiastic provider, returns with 200 Philistine foreskins. I was like, how are they going to tackle this scene in the movie? They didn't. They didn't.
No, but you know what that probably was? That was probably an allegorical. Well, no, actually, that probably was. I mean, obviously, it's inflated, but.
What, you mean the foreskin?
Yeah, the foreskins. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you mean the amount of foreskin. I thought you meant the foreskin itself. It's a dick joke.
I don't know. I know what a foreskin is.
No, I know. You're trying to laugh. I thought you were trying. I get you. You're being like the amount of foreskins is exaggerated. I was making a joke about the size.
Well, to be fair, the size may have been exaggerated as well.
Oh my god!
I don't know. I would think that the enemies of Israel at the time would have been shown to have very small foreskins, very small foreskin.
Am I gonna get canceled on my own podcast by people?
Oh, come on!
It took me too long to realize that, because I was like, man, that feels exaggerated because the specificity that would have been required to get that. And then it went, no, they would have been dead when he got he would have killed them and then taken that makes sense.
Well, not necessarily, but that would have been. But yeah, you just imagine David out to being like 25,
You're right.
26. It's like, son of a bitch, what time is it? 28.
Do you think he got help? Do you think he had some people? Hey, Jerry, come on. You got to get quota of like 20. Come on, man. We got to get this.
Hey, man.
He's
bride
hot.
price, her dowry has 5 goats. You want to go?
It's a goat.
Help me cut 200. Help me cut 200 foreskins off.
I'm going to be king of Israel one day. Just so you know.
I knew David back when we were just out there in the field cutting dicks off.
I am absolutely doing this joke on Sunday.
It's just like that, I went back to 100 subscribers instead of 200.
That's not true. Hey, listen. Jesus did away with them. Well, actually, no, he didn't. But he would have said it was less important.
Well, so
he would have been fine with 100 foreskins.
To go back to Jesus. What your narrative answer to the answer of free will, Jordan actually had a similar response to that, where he went, I thought that because I said a lot of the Old Testament, by all the Old Testament stories seem to indicate there is no free will and it's all predestiny. It's all part of God's plan or design. And then Jordan went, I'm pretty sure Jesus dying gave us free will. Right? That was
not necessarily. It's implied that free will, well, not implied. Many people, including early Christian thinkers, explain the concept of sin because okay, if everything's planned, then sin doesn't exist, right? Because it's God's will. So in order for sin to exist, there has to be free will. And how it's implied is that once Adam and Eve ate the fruit and committed the original sin, it was then up to them. And God permits this because the knowledge of good and evil dictates that free will be there.
Interesting. See, that makes sense. That makes sense to me. I mean,
but here's the thing, Justin. Ultimately, the whole reason for Jesus' sacrifice is because humans have free will. We're never gonna get it right.
Yeah,
it's not going to happen. So
it's interesting to hear you point out the narrative flaws as if it were. I feel that you being again Christian sort of would pointing out narrative holes in Christianity as though it were fiction. Is that offensive?
It shouldn't be, because Jesus operated in parables almost exclusively.
Interesting, because I'm always like, this is a plot hole. Like there's a moment where they're like, hey, if you're God, like do a miracle for us, and I'm like, yeah.
But then it doesn't mean anything. Because I've thought about this too. So because that's a very common criticism is like God could just wave his hand, and it's like, well, yes, but then that's salvation without cost. Now, granted, in this case, God through Jesus is taking on the cost himself, but then it means something. There's skin in the game. It's not just a wiping of the slate. It is, but it's not. It's not a freebie, because if it's a freebie, then there's I don't want to say incentive. That's not the word I'm looking for. There's no reason to be concerned with sin at all. Because if it just wiped away scot-free with no sacrifice, because the implication is that sin equals death, eternally speaking. Now, because no humans got it right ever, God takes that punishment upon himself by incarnating himself into a human and suffers and goes through that. So he becomes a Passover lamb to tie it in with the Old Testament. That's why he always says the blood of the lamb, that kind of stuff.
Right. That's a big thing that people kind of sort of forget about this religion is like, hey, yeah, we've evolved over time, and people used to think that killing lambs was cool, and now we don't think that. Times evolve and change.
But the symbolism is still very much there. That is why. But because a lot of people also forget this detail. The Passover lamb is specifically an all-white lamb. The purest white of lamb is the one you sacrifice.
Oh, interesting.
So that's why Jesus is the blood of the lamb, and he's the blood of the purest lamb, because he is in fact God. And every time I say this, there's presupposing that if you agree with the Christian doctrine. So just so I don't have to preface that every time.
A thing that I always forget, and I know I talk about it a lot, but it really does make me go, oh my God, it recontextualizes a lot of the lines of dialogue from the Bible where it's like, there was more than one God back then. So like it's like well, I mean to people, I should say. I should say to society. There's the Egyptian gods. There's the Roman gods. There's the so like yeah. So like when Jesus rocks up, or when Moses rocks up in Egypt, or David, or whatnot, and he's like, yeah, this is my God, and the Egyptian's like, what makes your God better than my God? And so it
for one thing, we only need one.
Yeah, but like. So when you see lines of like "Thou shalt not put no other god before you," that's kind of become interpreted as like a materialistic thing. But no, that's a literal thing. It's a literal thing.
Well, no, and let's not forget. I think it's Joshua who says the very famous line, "But as for me and my house, we worship the Lord." That implies that there are other gods out there, but our house, this is ours.
Yeah, well, exactly.
And then let's not forget the fact too that the book of Job begins with basically a God meeting.
Well, there's a lot.
There's more than one there.
Yeah. Well, yeah. There's There's a theory that one of the videos I watched about the Bible was like, yeah. You ever notice how in some of the Bible stories, God seems like a vengeful, wrathful monster, and other times he's really nice, and it seems to wildly conflict with itself? That's because it very likely was, in fact, originally in the original like incarnation of the story, probably two gods. Like the Noah story is a great example of that.
I don't know that I go that far. I think
very basic generalization.
I think Jewish scholars would agree with you. At least some of them would be like, well, what message are we trying to say with this story? Yeah, because you're right. There's the entire book of Job. A man suffers incalculably because God makes a bet. That's kind of shitty.
Jordan pointed out Sorry, Haley. Jordan pointed out how the Abraham story is just a wife test, a girlfriend test. I mean, that was the nice version of what he said. He was much meaner about it.
I hear him laughing over there. When you get down to it.
I don't want you to do it, but I want you to. I don't want you to pick up flowers, but I want you to have the idea. I was like, oh my God, you're so right.
So wait, which instance are you talking about specifically?
I guess when he's like, I don't want you to sacrifice your son, but I want you to.
I have an answer for that.
I want you to show me. I want you to show me that you want to sacrifice your son.
No, so that's actually a really good example, and this would be not the universal Jewish perspective, but this is a perspective I've heard. So when you have an ancient culture, well, not the Jewish people, but in that time period, there were several ancient cultures that did sacrifice humans, specifically children. So if you are talking to a group of people in a time where this is considered normal, how best to explain to them, no, we're going to stop doing this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Than to give and the thing of it is we read it very literally nowadays, like you said earlier. In that time, it would have been like, oh, this is God telling Abraham, this ain't cool no more. We're not going to do it.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think, I mean, not to get overly deep, but religion as a constructed concept, I think exists for that exact reason, to be like, hey, a lot of people died in a mass unexplainable casualty event. How do we feel better about this? And then that idea, if you consider religion to be fiction.
Well, but here's the beautiful part about that example is it doesn't matter if everything is 100% accurate as written. It works. If everything is a literal, not literal, a literature construct, it works.
Yeah. That's what I like. I like it. I've discovered my favorite biblical based stories or movies are where it's ambiguous, where it could be, hey man, maybe Jesus, he hears voices and is seeing shadows. Perhaps that's schizophrenia, or maybe he is the son of God and he's hearing voices. Maybe he's just this powerful religious leader who's just a guy, or maybe he is the son of God, and you're unclear as to whether he is or he isn't. And I can't say that he was or he wasn't. I wasn't there.
Well, that's why my view of Christianity as a religion is it's not exclusive to me, but it's a bit unique. Is because I'm over here and it's very much the same thing. It's like, okay, Jesus was the son of God, it works. Or let's say he wasn't.
Yeah.
Still works.
Yeah.
From an ethical perspective, still works.
Yeah. Yeah. This movie, this will probably always be my favorite, or just this musical, Jesus Christ Superstar, will always be kind of one of my favorite Jesus movies. I know you're like, oh, it's bad, but because I used to be the Jesus isn't real camp, and this sent me down that rabbit hole of researching the historical Jesus to be like, I think really looks like he was a real guy from that part of the world the guy who looks like the guy in the movie with who's white and the beard. He probably wasn't real, but to say that there wasn't a forward thinking idealist in that part of the world, at that part. It's believable. Like, not all of his ideas were bad ideas. Just putting that out there.
Very few of them were bad ideas, I would say. But interestingly enough, in my humble opinion, if you want to see the best on-screen representation of Jesus, watch a movie called Risen.
Interesting.
Because he's also the first thing that struck me was he's not a white guy. So
really,
yeah. So there was that.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's conceptually very interesting, and they actually get the crucifixion portrayal extremely accurate, both biblically and historically, which is it's tricky.
Which is why I love John Legend kind of portraying that perspective of like him not being white,
That would make it interesting. Well, because there's a different connotation though with him being a person of color. There's every version of the Jesus Christ Superstar where it's just the guitar riff as they're counting him getting whipped. It goes on for so long. It goes on for so.
That's the point.
Yeah, but it would be a different connotation if he were a black person. At least to me, it would be.
Okay. So here's an interesting rabbit hole I went down. That's a modern thing.
Really?
Yeah. Well, yeah. The idea of whiteness in and of itself is a modern construct.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. I suppose that is true.
It just in that region in particular. Now, granted, there were very few people.
They were very much about nationality.
Well, even less nationality and more so religious group, or like from the Roman perspective, you were either a citizen or a non-citizen. From the Jewish perspective, you were either Jewish or not, or Gentile. From
your color of your skin didn't matter. Yeah, I get
no,
it. Yeah.
it was completely irrelevant, or
So
not irrelevant, but it wasn't not to the degree that it is today, at least in contemporary American society.
I will say the history of white Jesus, though, is fascinating.
I mean, it's obvious though historically as to why that happened, because in medieval Europe they couldn't worship a brown man, Justin.
I mean, no, they could not.
They were good Christian folk.
just the notion that this spread to, like, just in that time. I like Jordan watched one. I'm going to watch it tomorrow, but one of the ones was Charles Dickens telling his son the story of the crucifixion. That's one of the movies. And I'm like, just the idea that this Middle Eastern person from the middle of nowhere, that his story spread that far for that long is incredible. It just, in terms of, even if you don't believe in terms of the power of fiction of a story, that's incredible. Like, you cannot discount that its spread and its persistence is incredible. Like, nobody talks about Zeus anymore.
Well, and that has to do with the fact that Christianity as a philosophy was built to be evangelized. And that's what a lot of people don't talk about, is the fact that like the last commandment before Jesus' death was literally go forth and become fishers of men. Like, it was built to be spread. It's something that very few religions of that time period, most of those were ethnically exclusive, or at least nationally exclusive. Like the Romans, yes, they conquered and brought their gods with them, but the Romans were very much incorporators of local customs and religion, so they melded them together. And you would see this later when the Catholic Church became the official state religion of Rome. That's what they did. They integrated pagan festivals into the Christian calendar, which is why we celebrate Christmas in December and not in the summer, like you should, literally. But all that kind of stuff. It's why we have Halloween, because the Christian Church, the Catholic Church, wanted to incorporate a festival that people were already having, but they wanted to make it Jesus.
About the Jesus story generally, the notion that the one that I always kept coming to is that the crucifixion is so specific and gross that it has to be true.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. No, and that is one thing that is heavily documented as to how crucifixions happen. Like, we know where they put the nails.
Well, yeah, people like I was thinking about this when I was rewatching Jesus Christ Superstar. I was like, would you both say that people just tend to blanketly associate crucifixion as the thing that they did to Jesus and don't really give it like...
Yes.
Yeah, that's my thing, is people don't really get that crucifixion was a big deal. Like, it was
common.
Common's
not the right word, but no, I don't know that it was uncommon.
Because there was a thing I saw, like, I can't remember if it was either a clip of some sort of movie or something. I can't remember where I saw this clip, but Jesus wasn't the only one that was hung. There were two other
more
guys.
Yeah,
yep.
two other guys. Yeah,
he's the side of them.
They're the one who one of them is like, "Hey, man, you're God. Why don't you get us out of this?"
And the other guy is like,
"Oh, so that was the Passion."
No, the other guy goes, "Shut the fuck up, hey, bro. I believe in you.
Yeah,
put in a good word for me upstairs."
And only one of them, and only one of them goes to no.
No, that's not true. They both. Well, that depends on who you ask.
But by that logic, with the other two guys next to him, then it's not just Jesus that they do this to. They do it to other people.
This was very. It was a capital form of punishment, meaning it was for. But historically, throughout the empire, oh god, how many was it? The entirety of Spartacus's rebellion was crucified on the road back to Rome. That's like 6,000 people.
It was like a major thing. And it's Christians tend to gloss over the how unpleasant.
Peter gets crucified upside down, allegedly.
Really?
I didn't know that. Yeah, but that was like, people tend to
which could be considered an act of mercy, depending on who you ask. But
did he get crucified because of him denying Jesus?
No. He got crucified because he was spreading. This was before Rome made Christianity the official religion.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, you're talking hundreds of years between.
yeah, yeah. They used to execute people who were that was the word, baptized people.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was a major
But
part of it.
also thieves, common criminals, murderers. It was a capital
Yeah,
offense.
but it's like it was a very public, very humiliating way
And
to
agonizing.
agonizing.
Well-
It took days for it would take days for people to get this die.
Well, it was also humiliating because Jesus had to literally carry his own cross across
Yeah.
the desert to where he
Well,
was-
and let's be fair here. It wasn't as far. I mean, it's far, but I mean, the actual hill is just outside the city. Like
Oh,
it's
is it?
just outside the walls. Yeah,
You
it's
also got to
not.
remember, like a lot of those
It's a big
stories
city, though.
are like a guy who told a guy who told a guy. Like the thing that kind of blew
I
my
heard it
mind
from a
was,
friend who I heard it from a friend
who I heard it from a friend. Yeah, like you would think like the Gospel of John, for example, is written by John, but it's not.
It's not.
It's not written by John. So that's just how the Bible stories are. So it's like I'm sure the fifth guy heard that it was a football field away, and it was probably just up the street. You know.
Well, I mean, it was outside the city, so they would have had to. Actually, they know where these sites are. Like they know where the hill is.
But like, yeah, having watched enough of these and the similar consistencies across the board of being like, yeah, you wouldn't lie about the guy in charge of your religion getting turned into meat. Like that's just not something at that time in that place you wouldn't do that. You just wouldn't.
And the
No.
thing is though, like people, there are a lot of people online, or like there's a lot of people that say that he died because he was nailed to the cross. No, he died because he was starved from being on the cross because he didn't get any food or water. He eventually just died from natural.
Well, he was also bleeding out.
Yeah,
Yeah, presuming that he got
Yeah.
horsewhipped like he did in that one movie I saw.
like all the splashes from his body, no food, no water, so he eventually just
Yeah.
died out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that's how you die on the cross. You just give
Yeah.
it's also actually, and this is something that Risen, that movie, gets extremely right. So much so that I didn't even know this. I actually had to research this afterward. So what they would do if they needed to speed things along, or actually if they just wanted to be nice, they would go over to whoever was hanging on the cross and they would break their legs. Because because how it works is you're spread out, so that puts pressure on your back and ribs, and then you're situated in a point where you can breathe in, but you can't exhale until you push up with your feet. And then you have to just repeat this agonizing process over and over again. So what they would do,
Those are fucked up, man.
well, but what they would do if they wanted to be nice or speed things along, they just go by and break the guy's legs so that then he couldn't push up, and he would just eventually he'd die a lot faster from asphyxiation. And in Risen, they order, because Passovers, I mean, not Passover. Yeah, not Passover. Damn it. Sabbath. It's about to be the Sabbath. So obviously in Judea, you can't work on the Sabbath. So people need to go home and do other shit.
Yeah.
So in order to be merciful, because Jesus, in fact, was killed on a Friday, which is when the Sabbath begins at sundown, they show the centurions going through breaking the other guy's legs, and they actually show one actually dying rather quickly afterward. But then they go to break Jesus's legs, and then somebody shouts something, and then the centurion says, I think he's dead, check. Or no, he tells him to stab him with a spear instead of breaking his legs. But when he stabs him with the spear, as is in the biblical account, it turns out he's already dead.
Huh. Interesting. I say, like, I joked. I said my grandmother was Christian. I said, man, she didn't indoctrinate us very well, because like I know the bit where he's on the cross, he dies, and he comes back. But like all this stuff in between, I realized one day I didn't know any of it. Like I knew that he comes back to life and then goes up to heaven, but like I don't actually know what actually happens in between all that. Like,
well, that's where Risen's so interesting, because what the story tells is that same Roman centurion, right? And what I love about this is it presents it initially from a very Roman perspective, because the Pharisees come in and say, we need to make sure that nobody steals his body because his followers are going to claim that he's resurrected. So they seal the tomb and all that. But then obviously the tomb opens after Jesus is resurrected. And the centurion has to figure out where the body is.
Interesting.
But then he meets Jesus. And it's an interesting perspective because it's like, this is a man who, up until he sees with his own eyes something that doesn't agree with what he's believed up to this point. But he can't dismiss it because he's seen it he saw this man die. He was literally there. And now he sees him out walking around. It's the same guy. And it's an interesting perspective. And it's like, wow, what would that be like? That'd be wild.
Right?
Okay, so then help me understand this then, because did Judas kill himself after he had given Jesus up, or did he
only in one version? Only in one version of the Gospels.
Yeah, but like it's like say like in the musical, like did he?
Yeah, after.
Like right after, or did he watch as Jesus?
No, Judas was dead before Jesus,
Okay.
I believe.
Yeah. Technically speaking, when he comes back at the end, if you were talking about the movie, when he comes back at the end and he's dressed in white, he's a ghost.
He's been resurrected, which is very blasphemous. Shame on you, Jesus Christ Superstar.
I assumed
Judas
it was
resurrected before Jesus.
Because I watched two versions of it. This one version, it really kind of came across like, or it read to me like, he was like, hey man, you God, you made me do this awful thing that I'm going to be known as the guy who did this awful thing for eternity now. Thanks for that. Screw you. And then he kills himself, which is a sin. And then he dies. And then I assumed that how I read it was at the end when he comes back and he's singing Jesus Christ Superstar. That's him basically being like, hey, look, you got what you wanted. You wanted to do this thing and get all the attention. Now you have all of the attention. Be happy now. Off to heaven. Later, y'all. Peace. Judas out.
Discover Digital Democracy, or DD, a platform truly owned by the people, for the people, empowering them to take charge of democracy. DD ensures all candidates from every party are given equal opportunities to present their ideas, winning support through integrity and merit, not wealth or influence. Compare and evaluate candidates with simple report cards and community discussions. See where their funding comes from, track their campaign promises, and identify conflicts of interest. Experience true transparency and accountability, ensuring every candidate, no matter who they are, actually represents their voters. Plus, engage directly with politicians in real time, fostering meaningful conversations. You can even propose your own policy ideas, shaping reforms at the local, state, or national levels. To complete the process, make your voice heard by participating in open primaries through debates, town halls, and forums that drive true democratic change. It puts people back in the driver's seat and redefines our political system. Imagine a Congress filled with politicians from multiple parties, working together for all Americans. Your trusted neighbor, mentor, or friend is running, with your support and without the influence of corporate money or agendas. Politicians no longer have to spend all their time dialing for dollars and can focus on representing their communities instead.
Learn more at hub.futureis.org.
What pisses me off is he's not far off.
I was going to say, no, as far as the musical goes, that's a pretty solid read.
But that's what pisses me off, that he's not far off. You're not far off at all.
Well, I maintain it's a pro Judas musical. That's my big hot take.
It's very, that's not a hot take. It's
an anti-Jesus
Oh, it's
musical.
very pro Judas.
I don't know that it's anti-Jesus, but it's very pro-Judas. Although, you could say, I mean, they cast Cynthia Erivo, for fuck's sake.
I would go as far as say it's kind of anti-Jesus.
It is fairly clear that whoever was behind it was either not a believer or at the very least Jewish.
I called it the most atheist musical I had ever seen, which is when the first time I watched it, I was like, but then Well, I said the most atheist movie I'd ever seen, but then I forgot I had watched Gods Among Us, Exodus, Gods and Kings, because that might be
Ooh.
the most atheist movie I've ever seen.
I will
But this
say
is pretty
one.
close.
I will say this one thing though. Andrew Lloyd Webber did the music for this, and I love all the songs. All the songs are
Yeah, it's
great.
I
I think
hate
it's
all
him
the
and
songs.
Oh,
I think it's him and
hate
Tim
you.
Rice, and
Oh,
and
God.
and
What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening.
I love the buzz.
I want to slap every one of those dirty
See,
hippies. I agree
I
with
love
Cartman
that
on
song.
one thing. One thing.
It's so
but, like,
catchy.
I
It's not
also
catchy at all.
I really like the opener though. The opener is really good. It's
Yeah.
probably my favorite song in that musical. It
Heaven on Their
conveys the
Minds.
theme
I
of
love
it.
Heaven on Their
Oh,
Minds.
Heaven on Their Minds is so good. I also hot take. Sorry, Haley. I don't think that Adam Lambert is a great Judas. I think he sings the songs okay, but his performance
Yeah,
isn't.
well,
He's not
guess
acting it
what?
all that well. He's just kind of singing the songs and like it sounds good, but he's not getting the character. I'm not feeling the frustration. I'm not feeling the
Okay,
exasperation that you should get
That is,
from.
I will say
And-
that's one thing that the 70s movie does is I get from the very beginning, although to be fair, it's been a minute since I'd seen it. At first I thought he was Satan because of all the red, but then I was like, oh no, this is clearly Judas and he's mad about something.
What's Judas doing?
I-
Oh, he's off screaming in the hills again.
Why is he out there screaming in the hills?
I disagree.
He should be screaming it all in the hell.
Yeah.
Hold on.
I disagree.
wanna
I
see-
love Adam Sandler. Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler should have played Jesus in Jesus Christ Superstar. That would have
Yes.
been.
Could you imagine?
Why are all you here?
That would be
Talking
wild. He
about
can sing though. That's the
I know
thing.
that's the irony. I'm sure, and
Yeah.
it's not lost on me. My entire family's in the house going like, "What the fuck is he talking about? Why is he singing?"
Oh no, it is. Okay, yeah. So have you seen it? Because I don't know if you're going to be there when I talk about Joseph and his Technicolor. Have either of you seen Joseph and his Technicolor Dreamcoat?
No.
Yes.
No. Yes.
Kind of.
Okay. That musical, the lyrics are some of the worst lyrics I've ever heard in my life.
I was about to
They're-
say no comment.
They're objectively at one point Donny Osmond as Joseph. So there's multiple jaunty songs. There's one jaunty song where the sons sing how Joseph is dead and they found his bloody coat. There's another jaunty song where they sing about how they're going to sell Joseph into slavery. And at one point, while being carted off, Joseph, as played by Donny Osmond, looks into the camera and shrugs and goes, "I don't even speak Egyptian." It's like it's one of the worst things I've ever seen. But I couldn't tell if it was intentional or not. And it's Tim Rice. It's the same lyricist who did the lyrics for this and who eventually did the lyrics for Lion King, which is actually good music. Like they're good lyrics. So I'm just like,
Well, everybody starts somewhere.
I guess I'm like, is this where he starts? Like, because you're right. What's the buzz? What's the happening? They're not good lyrics.
I literally, you just mentioned the Lion King, and that just reminded me of something. Apparently, the guy that wrote that beginning song is suing
I heard that. Yeah.
he's suing the
The guy-
comedian.
The guy who said it had to get on his TikTok and be like, it was just a joke.
No. Here's the thing. It's not a joke. That's what it actually says.
I know. He said I was just kidding around when I said it, and then apparently I saw that the guy who wrote it is suing him. He got really mad and is suing him
Well,
for defamation.
But he's right. The song is literally saying, "Hey, it's a lion."
I mean, yeah, it's just a flowery, probably saying it with very flowery language, but yeah,
And I'm a big fan of Godfrey. I forget his last name, but he is funny as hell.
he's very. That was a funny joke.
Yeah.
I can never remember his last name, but God, anytime he imitates his father, I laugh.
Oh, is he? That's him. Oh,
Yeah,
I didn't know
he's the guy. He's the comedian whose parents are from Nigeria, and he's always just like. I love the bit where it's like everything was so dramatic when my father is like, "Your mother is not here.
that's
I am not going to cook for you.
That's
We shall go to McDonald's." And he's like, and he carries it on in there. He's like, "My children are hungry. My wife is not home."
that's funny. I didn't realize.
And
it was
the spiel. No, I was
the-
kidding.
End of episode now. Good night, everybody. There we go. Those are all my hottest takes.
I
could have gone. I could have gone without watching this movie ever again.
I disagree though, but I disagree. I love Adam Lambert. I think he's amazing.
I just think he should have played Jesus. Is all I'm saying.
He should have. He can.
I mean, if here's the thing, you can do it. You can do it. You can do a twofer. Like you want to please the Broadway crowd, do that. You want to piss off the Christians, you can do that with a gay man too.
I'm just saying. Yeah,
I will say this though: the song that he sings when he's accepting the money from the Roman guard,
from the Pharisees,
the 30 silver,
30 pieces of silver,
and the emotion that he has on his face about
this is true.
Like I loved every second of that whole entire song and scene. Chef kiss.
See, sorry, you go ahead.
I was just gonna say, my only one that thinks that Jesus, and I always forget his name. I know it's not, but he looks like Billy Ray Cyrus.
In which one?
The 70s movie.
Oh yeah, it's Ted Neely.
Ted Neely, yeah.
Oh my God, yes.
Looks just like Billy Ray Cyrus, doesn't he?
I just realized that.
I just want him to just break into to find my way back to Galilee. Because I like that. Because I like that song. But it's Tennessee. Billy Ray Cyrus.
Speaking of Billy Ray Cyrus, this will go out way after the Hannah Montana 20th anniversary special. But
is he playing King George? Please tell me he's playing King George.
Hannah Montana.
What about Hannah Montana?
It's the Hannah Montana 20th anniversary special.
Oh, I thought you said Hamilton for some reason.
No. I said Hamilton.
Wow, did I literally hear? Oh, wow, I heard Hamilton.
I kind of want him to be King George now, but I want him to play with a Tennessee accent.
Obviously.
No, not a British one.
Y'all be back.
I want this.
But yeah, this is going out after the fact.
Wow, Hannah Montana was 20 years ago.
I know. I feel old. I know. I feel old because I was like literally 7 years old when that came out.
I was 16.
I don't want to talk about it.
I don't want to talk about it.
I was 16. I used to watch that show, and then me and my friends would stand around and talk about how we didn't watch that show, but then make references to that show because we thought it was fun. The 2000s were a weird time.
But yeah, I was planning to do like an episode where I talked about the 20th anniversary episode that's going out on Disney Plus, but I'm not gonna have time plus
you should just do a Hannah Montana episode.
And plus I have other episodes that I just did or other interviews that I just filmed that have to go out before. So
fair enough. I was gonna say you could just do a Hannah Montana episode and just time it around the anniversary. That's what I do.
Eventually, I would like to do
get that SEO
Hannah Montana episode though.
I thought it was funny that I beat
at the rate
I did the movie.
No, at the rate you're going, one of these days you'll get Miley Cyrus and win again.
See, I feel like she's got the best chance with the brother. the brother.
Hey, Jackson was the comedic heartbeat of that show, and I will die on that hill.
Did you know that he was in his 20s when he first auditioned for that?
There's a picture of him standing next to John Cena, and they're the same age.
Yep.
What's really funny about there's a big clip of him that's going viral about him talking about how he was 26 playing
like
a 16-year-old.
He lied about his age.
Yeah. What's really funny is that they're talking about this as if this is new information, but when I was a kid and that show was out, that was like a thing they talked about at the water cooler when we us as teenagers. We would stand around and be like there was this rumor, did you know that Jackson is actually an adult and he's not actually a 16-year-old? Because we couldn't comprehend the fact that an adult could play a teenager. Like, yeah, the Power Rangers are all 16, guys. Like, we didn't maybe.
I mean, to be fair, Austin St. John was only 18.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, he was.
He was the youngest and the tallest.
Yeah.
Why do the teenagers in Greece look like adults?
Because they're 40, Justin.
Because they're 40, Justin.
All in their 40s.
Rizzo is 45.
Is that actually true?
No, I don't think she's quite that old.
That's true.
No, but she was in her at least 30s, I think.
I was gonna say I believe fully that she was in her 30s because she looks substantial. And I don't mean she looks bad, but I mean you can tell she's substantially older than everyone else.
Yeah, I think I found an article somewhere that like.
Well, you guys
she
can.
was in her 30s.
I forget to the end, but would you guys consider yourself fans of Grease? Because Jordan asked me this question. I didn't have
No,
an
I
answer.
hate that. I hate that fucking movie so much.
Grease are here. Grease fan here.
The only good thing about Grease is Grease 2, and it's only good because it pissed off
Grease 2 is a
everyone.
hot
Listen,
piece of trash.
listen. The only good thing about it is that it pissed off all the Grease fans.
Yeah, Jordan hated that movie.
Grease 2 is a hot pile of shit.
I know, and that's why it's
Jordan said.
awesome. Because it pissed off everyone that loves Grease. That is why I love it.
I'm going to ask anyway.
Because they literally said, you can't make a musical worse than Grease, and they said, hold my beer and buckle up,
watch us.
motherfucker.
Let's.
We're going to make one where the guy's straight-laced.
I know why. What if they Jordan was like? What if they? He was surprised they've never tried to remake this. What if we remade it and we gave it the West Side Story remake treatment and we made it quasi serious? Who would you cast?
Here's the thing, though. I don't think you can because
It's too silly.
because Olivia Newton-John is no longer with us.
Well,
So it's like it doesn't. It's not fair to do.
I mean, yeah, but she would be playing. I mean, I guess you could have her be one of the teachers, I suppose. But
she's dead.
she's no. But I'm saying,
like he
even if
said,
she-
you could have her play one of. Actually, you know what you do to make this truly funny? If you really want to just go full bore with this, you cast people in their 40s.
That would be funny. That I hadn't even considered that. That would be funny.
If Betty White were still alive, get her to play Sandy.
Get her to play Sandy. That would be funny.
I think the only thing I would accept if they did
You making fun of me, Riz?
I think the only thing that I can accept if they did make another Grease movie is if they did like a little thing to as a memorial thing for Olivia Newton-John.
Well, sure, but here's what you do: you give it the modern treatment, and you turn it into a series
I mean,
filled with drugs and alcohol. Oh wait, yeah.
Oh wait, they did that and they canceled it.
Well, no, but you got to give it the Riverdale treatment. It was filled with sex and drugs and
I just feel like everything.
things.
See, I hated River.
No, but you do. You remake the Pink Ladies, but make it a gang story. Make it a gang mini where they actually jump girls in, and Danny's like, "Why you?" Danny's just in there like, "Why you beating up all the girls?" And she's
Way
like,
to go,
they
Jake.
gotta
Now
be
I'm
tough.
pissed off about now I'm pissed off again about how the Pink Ladies got canceled.
Well, I am here. I am a shit stirrer, as they say.
See, I think they should make Rizzo, played by Betty White, and then that way when they go and she put up a fight, you could be like, really? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, she used a walker.
Oh,
She beat you with a walker.
yeah. There's a really
took
funny
that
culture in this
walker
guy
away.
where it's like, why would she need to put up a fight? I don't know why.
You know why a jacket's a pink? They used to be white, but then we got so much blood on them and we washed them and it turned pink.
Here's the thing though, that one line in the whole song is always like I hear that line now. I'm just like,
Yeah, it's like
red flag, red flag, red flag, red flag.
That's because that musical was written in the 1970s,
I'm like, ooh,
and takes place in the 1950s.
right?
red flag.
That's with the Jesus Christ Superstar written in the 1960s. Same deal. So very much a product of the time it was written.
I'm sure that there are red flags in
Very
that
much.
too.
Well, starting with Judas's wardrobe. It's like, why is this motherfucker wearing red? Like,
Because it's supposed to tell you he's the betrayer. It's how you know.
but it's trying to say he's the good guy.
Sperm
I
ants.
know it's part of the contradiction. I don't know.
You remember in the beginning of the episode where I was talking about the guys on that like the balcony singing about how Jesus must die and those stupid hats, sperm hats. That's what they remind me of. They look
Why
like
you would say
sperm.
that? I'm just gonna say it. Not the most anti-Semitic version of the Pharisees I saw this week.
No.
That's probably
No, this one made them all jacked, and there was
Yeah.
like more of a love letter to 300 30 years before it came. No, 40 years before it came out.
that was probably the passion. That's probably the most anti-Semitic version of the Pharisees.
Oh, I don't know that you could say it was anti-Semitic. I'd say historically accurate, but
Really? Because a lot of people said that. We're gonna talk about that on Sunday.
we're
Am
going to
I
talk about that on
gonna
Sunday.
am I ever gonna visit Jerusalem or anything? Not with what's going on right now across
No,
the
I'd love
water.
to though. I would love to go there
I don't
one of these
know.
days.
I kind of would as
Even with
well.
what's going on right now, with
No,
like,
not right now. Well,
But, like-
I mean, this sounds not right this minute.
Yeah.
No, but
No,
I mean,
not currently.
but I know people that have gone to Israel fairly recently, like not immediately, but
it'd be cool to go to the place be like, hey, that's the place from the thing.
Yeah.
Like
that's kind of why I want to go. But like,
Yeah.
that'd be
just
kinda
because
neat.
I mean, but I'm jazzed to go anywhere where there's like literal history that happened, and it's like,
Yeah,
wow, this is the place. This is
the place where
where
the
it went
thing
down.
happened. Yeah, I've always I love. I'm more interested in the Bible and religion from a historical standpoint and an archaeological standpoint and a forensic standpoint.
Yeah, it's
Because
like,
you're
oh, we can go to Jericho and say, this is where the walls never were.
right? Like, you're like, oh yeah, this is
Hey,
this is
if
an
we-
important part of history, and this is where the history happened. This is where the guy sat on the rock.
hey, if we get enough money eventually from being like famous podcasters or whatever, eventually that's a dream. We
Oh,
can
then we'll
all,
just live stream it. Be
we
like, this
can-
is where the thing happened.
we can all take
Right.
a podcast trip with all the podcast people.
We could go touch the wall. This
And-
wall is brought to you by Arte Media Pantheon.
Actually, it's brought to you by the Babylonians, but they left this part.
This part,
Like-
it's the wall.
God, is that
Imagine-
disrespectful? That feels disrespectful, but I mean, it's also factually true.
I tend to assume. I just always assume I'm being respectful to religions until I'm told I'm not.
like,
Just
Fair.
a safe way
Like
to
in-
operate.
like imagine us having enough subscribers, enough so we can actually go on like trips like these and like do stuff.
look,
And you can help by hitting that subscribe and like button.
Yeah, and you know what? It's a perfect time to announce. Eventually, I'm going to start vlogging my Disney World trips
Oh, nice.
and
That's exciting.
or my New York trips.
That's also exciting.
Nice. You can go up to Goofy and be like, Bill Farmer said you were just a joy.
He says you're a delight to work with.
Yeah.
And he's just
I
gonna,
will-
and then in the mask he's gonna be like, how the fuck do you know Bill Farmer? I interviewed him once.
He was on my podcast.
And then he pops the head off and he's like, gosh, guess what?
it's
Like,
me.
oh shit, it's Bill.
It's Bill. He's been here the whole time. He wasn't kidding when he said he was in the parks. Like, it's like a Where's Waldo thing. Just so you know, kids, he's in one random costume. It's up to you to find out.
But going back to Greece, I do want to say one thing. You know what is something that went away culturally that I really wish never had?
Hmm.
Malt shops.
Yeah. We kind of
I mean, but like it's a place for kids to go and hang out, stay innocent. There's no like like what's wrong with just going somewhere and enjoying a milkshake?
You know, I never had like a malt milkshake. I
Yeah,
had,
because they don't really
Oh,
exist
yeah.
anymore.
I
Yeah.
miss the convenience store. Like you know, remember when like the convenience store was like the place they'd have like ice cream machines and like it'd be the at least in Canada it was the place we hung out. Like like in Clerks, you'd hang out at the convenience store.
We still have those. This 7-Eleven, but they're Slurpees now.
Yeah,
Yes,
like
same.
I had it. I had milkshakes at like Steak and Shake, but like
Yeah. But
they're
it's
not the same.
no, they're not the same thing. No, that's a cultural element that I really wish had never gone away because I think the reason the youth sucks so much now is because they don't have a place to go to just hang out.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, like the same. I feel the same. Lives are the same way about arcades.
Yeah, dude. Although they're kind of back, but of course they gamed it to a. You're not. You can't now. You have to pay to get in,
Yeah,
as opposed to
Well-
like you can't hang out there and put quarters in now.
there's one by where I live. It's called Castle Fun Park, and you can walk
Sounds
in,
awesome.
and it is pretty sick. You can walk in, and there you get a card, and
Yeah.
freely explore. You get a card, and then that's how they game it. It
Yeah, but
operates
they
very much
usually-
in a similar way to Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, but there's one in the mall close to where I live where you have to get a card to get in, but there is one in my hometown where you do have to pay to get in, but they don't have a card. It's $5. No, hang on. Yeah, it's $15 and you can be there all day.
That's pretty good price.
Unlimited,
That's
unlimited. Well, because all the money goes to a charity, you see, and they've got tons of
that's
pinball. They've got
really
arcade
smart.
machines. They've got
That's cool.
game systems set up. It's pretty sick.
We used to have a place in a local mall called Palladium that was like that, where it was like nine, but it was corporate, but it was like $9 or something at the time. And yeah, and they'd let you hang out all day, play as many video games as you want. And my mother would just drop us off there and be like, "Have fun, kids. I'm gonna go drink."
Yep, and you can buy soda and popcorn. I donated some flooring to them a few years back because they were like,
That's
"We need
pretty
some
cool.
flooring. We need some flooring," and I'm like, "I have some flooring. Do you want it?"
Would you like the flooring? And they're like, "Yes, we would." That's really cool.
We're getting a place called Sky Zone. It has like a where
That's
where
pretty
it
cool,
has like a bowling alley and then like go-karts and stuff.
Yep, I'm familiar with Sky Zone. You will have fun there.
Yeah, they need to bring back like the classic like coin operated arcade.
I agree, but it's
Too expensive to maintain. I understand why.
well, no, people spend. This is a psychological effect. You spend more when you swipe a card.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
interesting. I
Oh
didn't
no,
know.
you're gonna. Oh, God, what's the figure? I think because they did this research with credit cards. I think it's even worse with children, which is why arcades really jumped on the card thing. But like, I think the adult, if you use a credit card versus your own money, you spend 17% more.
Wow.
On
That
average.
makes sense. That makes sense. I do tend to tap away way more of my money.
But yeah, anyway, Jesus. Remember when
Yes.
remember when he wrecked the temple and turned over the postcard stand?
Remember when he was like, remember when he was like, "Hey, those rich people, they're not better than you."
Yeah, that's why they wanted to kill him.
Yeah. You're not better. They're not better than you. You, as the poor people, should rise up and take back the means of production.
Hey now,
Well,
simmer
like,
down there, Carl.
technically, though, too, like I don't understand why they wanted to kill him. Like, because they say it's because he's dangerous, but I don't see how he was dangerous.
Because you see, the Pharisees maintained power by being the voice of the religion of Judaism, and according to Jewish belief, once the Messiah comes,
They're not needed
that's
so much
it.
anymore.
Yeah, you don't really need them so much anymore. Now, did they believe he was the Messiah? No. Otherwise, they would have been like, "Cool," but they
Also,
didn't.
he
believe
was
it.
walking around stirring up the occupied city of Jerusalem's people into uprising against the Romans. And the
Well,
Romans also didn't like that so much.
Not really, but that's what they thought he was going to do.
Yeah.
Also, you had a way out, Jesus. Like King Herod said, just say you're king of the Jews, and I'll let you go.
Well, yeah, but that was a lie.
Yeah, but still, it's like
It's pretty clearly a lie.
you had so many ways out, though.
But also, like, Jesus makes the point that he's like, "I never said that. You said this stuff about me." Okay, well, it was a more or less a administrative thing, right? He was like, "Well, they want him gone." More
But King Herod wasn't even king of Judea.
because he isn't he usually mentioned in the actual part? Like, what I thought was interesting was how in the Passion he's also flamboyant in that as well. So I'm like, clearly he is presented as being somewhat flamboyant in the original text.
Yeah, but here's the thing, and this is a detail that a lot of people don't understand. So Jesus, okay, so in this time, Israel didn't exist. It existed in the area, but it was actually three different areas. You had Judea, which was a full Roman colony, which is where Jerusalem was. Then you had Samaria, and then you had Galilee, which is what is today's northern Israel. Jesus was from Galilee under the direct administration of King Herod.
Yeah.
So Jesus is. Yeah, Jesus is technically speaking a subject of King Herod.
Yeah. That's why he's, because in most versions of the story, it's like, yeah, they take him to Pontius Pilate, and Pontius Pilate is like, it seems like he hasn't done anything wrong, and then
It's like he's not even in my jurisdiction.
Yeah, and then they send him to King Herod, and King Herod's like, "Hey, so turn this water into wine for me."
Also, let me ask you a question then. Had Peter not denied him, it would still go the same way, right?
It would still go the same way.
Exact same way.
Yep. Peter denying him doesn't really have anything to do with it. I think that's purely, again, if you're looking at it from a literary standpoint, that's simply to reinforce the humanity of everyone but Jesus in this story.
Yeah.
Because if anybody else looks like a martyr, then the Jesus story loses its profoundness.
Also, aren't the accounts of it like don't they differ gospel to gospel?
Yeah,
Especially-
in some ways, but Jesus dies in all of them.
Yeah, like the notion of him coming back is only from like one of the gospels.
Oh no, he's
Here.
resurrected in all of them.
So maybe was there? Aren't they all? Isn't the accounting of it different though? Gospel to gospel.
There are details, yes, but generally speaking, they're the same.
He does the samba up to the big old.
Yeah, the resurrection is kind of the deal.
So what's the second? No. Never mind. That's a question for Sunday.
In more ways than one.
That's a
So,
good
so then also I wanted to ask too because I wanted to say too because I just wanted to point out too that all like I said before all the songs in Jesus Christ Superstar in my opinion are the greatest songs. I love all the songs, but also like because I love Andrew Lloyd Webber. I love Phantom of the Opera. I love Jesus Christ Superstar. I loved
You
Cats.
love Phantom of the Opera?
Yes,
That was a
I
joke.
love
but
Phantom of the Opera.
the one thing, the one musical that I do not love, I hate by actually, Bad Cinderella. That was
Yeah, I've heard that
and
one's bad.
that one is bad, and I think it lived up to his
I
name.
heard it. I heard it's Cinderella,
I,
but badly.
and with no other words to say, it is bad. It's horrible. The songs are horrible. The
But who
plot's
did his
horrible.
lyrics? Are the lyrics bad, or because I've learned there's a difference? Is the music bad, or are the lyrics bad?
The lyrics. He did both. Like he did both.
Did he do the lyrics as well and the music?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, same with Phantom of the Opera and with,
Phantom of the Opera, I believe he did that with Tim Rice, I believe.
oh yeah. Never mind. But he
could be wrong
wrote
about
the music for.
Yeah, he did
Phantom of Opera.
he did the music. He didn't do
Yeah.
the and
Same
so
with
that's where like
Jesus
sorry,
Christ
go ahead.
Superstar. I think Jesus Christ
Tim-
Superstar. He did.
he did the music for it, and then Tim Rice
Yeah.
did the lyrics.
Yeah.
Which is why like the music in Joseph is like the music is good. The music
Yeah.
is really good. The lyrics are bad.
Yeah.
So that's where I was like, oh, did he do the lyrics? Because if he did the lyrics, then
And I believe same with Cats too. He did the music.
yes, the lyrics were
Only.
compiled largely from the poems that the musical is based on,
Yeah.
with supplementary lyrics from other people. I thought it was a Tim Rice one. I was like, no, it's not Tim Rice. But yes, to answer your question, yes, he did the music, which is why the music is so good. The music is good.
Yeah,
The music is good in all of these.
But yeah, any last thoughts on Jesus Christ Superstar before we wrap up?
It's a dirty hippie fever dream. Don't watch it.
No, it's not the. If we're talking the movie's not the best version of this. The best version
Yeah.
of it is the concert, the where Tim Minchin is, and I can't remember who's playing Jesus, but Tim Minchin plays Judas. It's the best version. Where they did it at the O2. It's the best version of this.
I will say this, and this is for my viewers and followers. I'll give you the 3 versions that you should watch. The version that Justin said, the Hollywood Bowl, but you can only find videos of it, so you can just watch like 8-minute videos of it. And then watch the John Legend version too.
I've heard good things about that one.
The guy that plays Judas in that one, oh my god,
He's all right.
I love
I've seen
him.
it. He's not again not my
He
favorite.
is
but
a
he's all
Broadway
right.
legend, by the way.
Good singer. It's not my favorite.
You
But,
you don't love the characterization.
It's the perform. I don't even like Carl Anderson. I don't like it when they do the rhythm. It's too fast. I like that song when it's a bit slower and it's a bit more deliberate. Like he's considering, he's really expressing the frustration slowly. It just sounds better. It's more personal taste.
But anyway, I was gonna say I'd like to hear your thoughts, but your guys' thoughts. But should I say this?
I would forewarn you that if you don't want to see a movie where Jesus or a music where Jesus comes across badly, if you find that objectionable at all, this might not be for you.
This probably isn't your cup
It's not
of
going to
tea.
be your thing.
Yeah.
It's not your cup of wine that was formerly water.
But I was gonna ask people to leave a comment down below of their thoughts, but I'm scared to do that.
Yeah. No,
Well, I mean, to be fair, if they're unfavorable, they're going to do it anyway. So fuck them.
Yeah, true.
it's true.
So leave a comment,
we were
subscribe.
nice to people. Okay,
Yeah.
you didn't get the mean version of that. Only Jordan got that.
So leave a comment, subscribe, and join the Discord and join the Instagram and join the Facebook.
Get on the
The
Instagram.
Facebook.
Get on the Facebook.
Did I just become so old now that I'm calling
Boomer.
it the?
You absolutely just called it the Facebook, yes. But I mean, to be fair, that's what it was called when at first it was called the Facebook.
This is true. It was the Facebook.
I'm
And
only
then they realized that
27.
sounds boomer as shit, so we're gonna take that out.
They're like,
I'm only 27.
Oh god, that's adorable.
Hell, that's cute.
Oh.
You haven't hit 30. It's cute.
I'm gonna
Well,
hit
while I'm
40
contemplating
soon.
life. Well, while I'm contemplating my life, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. And I'm very sorry for the problems again, but they keep
I warned you.
But they keep
To be fair,
reminding-
you always learn something and are at least mildly entertained.
yeah.
That's true.
But
Hey, we're not as problematic as Native American Heaven.
yeah. Go watch that episode if you haven't, guys. Please.
That had nothing to do with us. That was purely Italian animation.
Yeah. And that wasn't even rehearsed. That was actual.
I didn't know it
Dome.
existed until I found it.
Yep.
That's the best stuff is improvised.
Oh no.
The Italians. Italians, what's wrong with you Italians?
The reactions were a genuine.
Yeah.
They were.
So, yep, with that being said, I am off, and I'll see you Eternal Stars later. And it'll be late Easter when this comes out, so happy late Easter.
You might be in time for Orthodox Easter.
Oh, Orthodox. So happy Orthodox Easter, then.
I think you're still a couple days late, but it's the next week.
Which
Yeah.
one's the rabbit one?
That's the normal one.
The normal. Okay, that's fair.
That's the. Oh God!
The
What?
rabbit
what
one,
was-
the rabbit
what was-
one.
What was that line? Oh gosh, that's when I don't remember what movie or show it's from, but it's like, yeah, Easter's the day where the rabbits deliver the egg where Jesus hatches.
That's fun.
Okay.
See, I always think of Robin Williams in the Easter is the holiday where Jesus comes out, and if he sees his shadow, it's 500 more years of Catholic guilt.
It's like
Good night, everybody.
Okay, well, with that being said, we're up, and with that being said, we were off, and I'll see you Eternal Stars later. I'm sorry.